SysloSpice digital recipes for dominance. SysloSpice. Recipes for digital dominance. Hello everybody, we're gonna dive right in. All right, here's what's going on. So we got a little bit of SysloSpice coming at you. We're gonna do free weekly trainings on everything relating to marketing, digital media, video production, video editing, website design, graphic design, social media design, how to generate more leads, growing a digital brand, brand transformation, brand strategies. They're all gonna be free live trainings that you're gonna get an accessible link to. We're gonna do it every Wednesday at 7 p.m. My goal is to really educate you, give you some spice, throw some heat on it, build it all together so that you have everything you need for free to check out and improve your brand, your marketing efforts on social media right now, especially right now with everything that's required to bring your brand, your business, whatever it may be, into the digital era. So I hope to see you there. Sign up, let's get you on. I look forward to seeing you there. SysloSpice, recipes for digital dominance. I'll see you there. All right, guys, so we'll get going. We'll get started today. I don't think we're gonna do a full hour, maybe like 20, 30 minutes, talking about the worst marketing mistakes. Things that people do that are just bad. People, what people think are shortcuts, and they are like, yeah, this works, we can use this, and I'm just gonna debunk a lot of that stuff today. So I really appreciate everybody hopping in and joining. The replay will be up on YouTube after. So if you miss it, you can always go back. You'll get a replay link from Zoom. But every week we do one of these episodes talking about different marketing techniques, advertising, branding. Last week's episode was really good. We really dove in and talked about, is branding a waste of money and that kind of a thing. So this week we're going to talk about some of the things that people do that, really just cause more problems than anything else. They don't solve anything. They think they're solving things, but they're not solving anything like that, right? So in the world of advertising and growing brands, back in around, I would say, I don't know, about 2016, we'll just start with like the first one. There was a big trend to do Instagram growth and Instagram followers and getting likes and all these different things. And back in the day in like 2016, 2017, it was good. Like you could do these things and they would grow your account and you would get incredible engagement and it was awesome and everything was great. Well, fast track to 2022, really started in end of 2020. Instagram and accounts all across every social platform really started to penalize those accounts that had done those things. And, when that happened, engagement and reach literally just plummeted. It just was like, oh my God, I used to get hundreds of thousands, hundreds of views, likes, all this kind of stuff. And so this is that kind of buying followers thing and all that stuff. Now, there's a way to do that, but not buying them, right? So if you are on a podcast with somebody else and they shout you out, that's one thing. If you go to an event and somebody shouts you out, that's one thing. But any kind of campaign that exists out there today where they say, well, we're going to get you 10,000 followers and they're trusted following and blah, 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 blah. Worst thing you could do for your account. And now you could do this on YouTube as well. You could do this on YouTube. You could do this on Facebook. You could do this on Instagram. And what happens when you do that is that these platforms turn around and they start to look at your account a little curiously. They're like, how is that person growing so quickly when they haven't grown before? So you get this huge uptick. The second caveat to that is that those accounts, if you look at those accounts that have done this, they don't really have a lot of engagement. Like they don't really have a lot of likes. I know a guy, entrepreneur out there, I knew he bought followers. He went from 70,000 followers to 1 million. He had 1 million followers. And he was running around touting like, I got 1 million followers. It's like, but if you look at the posts, the ratio of likes and engagement don't really match up to the actual following that you have. And if you look at people that actually have high numbers and things like that, you'll see that there's a decent amount of posts, there's a decent amount of, likes, decent amount of communication. Now, why am I saying that? Because what happens is when you do this, okay, you're basically cutting your own organic reach from these platforms. And all these platforms thrive on organic and paid, like kosher paid, like legitimate paid ads, okay? You could do paid ads very cheap for awareness and drive traffic to your profiles and get people to subscribe, get people to like and all that stuff. But overall, what we're really talking about here, the guys that are like doing these shout out campaigns. So you probably have gotten messages on social media about it. People probably reached out to you and said, hey man, we can get you 10,000, 20,000, 50,000, da, 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 da. You know, big Kardashian campaigns, all this stuff. From a marketing standpoint, it's the worst thing you could do to your brand. I'll tell you what happens when you do it on YouTube. When you do it on YouTube, YouTube immediately shadow bans your account immediately. It's not even like a wait thing. It's just, you are immediately cut. Now, shadow banning is meaning you can't tell that you're banned. You're still promoting, you're still seeing this stuff go, but YouTube is actively suppressing your YouTube channel. Right? So how do I know that? Well, back in 2016, I was working with a company and I fell victim to it. And they said, hey, you need to do this. And I said, fine, I did it. It didn't really result in anything. So I just went back to organic posting. Back in 2021, I was posting, but I wasn't getting a lot of engagement. So I went over with my team. We did a deep analysis and I said, yeah, well, I did this. I was like brand new with my brand and I didn't know anything. And they were like, well, you know, we found where the issue is. And so I said, okay, my YouTube channel has been shadow banned since 2017. I didn't even know, right? So what did I do? I rebuilt my I built a new YouTube channel from scratch. And that channel right now is sitting at 11,000 subscribers, where I put all this content up there. The engagement's good, the likes are good, the ratios are good, everything is good. It's done kosherly from scratch. Like I started over with all the knowledge that I have. We don't run ads on that YouTube account. We don't run channel traffic to that account. That was just all 100% organic growth, right? And if you're watching on my YouTube channel right now, thank you so much. You came here organically, I appreciate it. But it literally shuts down your ability to market, okay? It also affects your paid ads. So your paid ads won't get as much distribution if you did something like that at some point. Right? This also goes for Instagram. Instagram, it does the same exact thing. Immediately your account gets suppressed. Now, how that platform actually works is that it does an analysis. It does kind of an inventory of your personal brand, your engagement to ratio, and it actually looks at the followers that you have. And so a lot of guys will go and they only have 1, 2, 3, 4 posts on, you know, the followers that they have, and Instagram suppresses them. So what I usually do and what I've had people do is you go on Fiverr and you can hire someone to go through and just remove all those accounts. So again, back in 2015, I made the mistake. Everybody did it. We were like, let's do it. It's great. Yeah. But it penalized you later on. And so I had somebody go through and basically remove, man, we got rid of 80,000 fake accounts off that Instagram and my engagement shot through the roof. Now, if you're trying to get verified on Instagram as well, it won't verify because it can see that you have bought followers and that those followers are, you know, mostly fake. Why am I saying that? Because it sounds like an easy way to get traction, and all these companies out there go out, make money and do this. And they are the scammiest of scams, like if that's even proper English, right? So if anybody approaches you at any time, and they say, we will grow this, we will build you this, we will get you X, Y, and Z, just don't do it, okay? Suffer through it. Suffer through the low numbers, suffer through the growth, keep doing it. You can do paid ads to drive traffic to it and have it done that way, where people can see your Instagram channel, they can see your YouTube account, your Facebook page, and just suffer through the growth of it. It's painful, right? You get a little introverted, but don't fall victim to it, because the second that you hire someone to do that, you've basically, you've killed your chance of actually building something good. So then you have to keep buying more. It's a cyclical thing. It's like a drug addict. You know, you have to keep buying more followers to actually keep up the amount of followers that you're losing, because also these platforms, they will just purge these followers. So if you've ever followed anybody and all of a sudden they were at 350,000, and then they dropped to like 289, their Instagram account got purged or their YouTube channel got purged, and they lost all those followers, right? So worst marketing mistake is to buy followers from anyone at any time, at anything, on any platform. Okay, do it right. Create the content, be consistent with that content, get your hashtags together. You know, I just trained somebody today and we went over hashtags, we went over tagging, all those different things. And it was a matter of, look, start now, build now, and continue out. Go to these platforms with Google ads, do it, take $200 a month and run traffic to your channel. It's not that expensive, okay? I mean, if you think about it, I mean, $200 a month, right? Divided by 30 days, $6 a day. So don't get a Starbucks coffee, run traffic to your channel. You know, once lose a Starbucks or lose eating out for a second, okay? And get some awareness over to your channel organically. You'll be surprised how cheap it is. You can get awareness traffic for 0.001 of a penny, right? 0.001 of a penny. I'll say it again, of a cent, one single cent. You get 0.001 of that for one person to go look at something, and then they like it, okay? Really cheap, like it's not expensive. But unfortunately, we do live in that. It did change over where they do give a little bit more preferential treatment to people that pay for ads to do it, but that's okay. Like you don't have to spend hundreds of thousands of dollars to get traction. And if you have hundreds of thousands of dollars to spend, good for you. You can really blow it out of the park and blow it out of the water. Second thing, you know, there's the Instagram. I just want to talk about verification for a second. A lot of ways to get verified is to pay for it. You know, press releases, getting all those articles and things like that. And honestly, I can afford to do it, but I haven't done it. And I'll tell you why I haven't done it. I haven't done it because I wanted to have it be a legitimate action. I wanted to have my account verified legitimately. I did not want to go pay for it because you can get it just without having to do that if you get enough traction. If you get enough traction and awareness, you can actually apply to be verified and they will verify you. So a lot of these guys that are verified bought their verification. Just think about that. You got to be careful. A lot of these coaches, entrepreneurs, business guys that are out there, they bought their verification. They didn't do it legitimately. They bought it, right? And even when you buy it, sometimes it doesn't work. So if you want to take a chance and buy your verification, go ahead. I haven't done it and I still can't justify doing it because I get a better return on my investment if I take that amount. Like on the low end, I think it's going to cost you $7,500. On the high end, 15 grand above, depending on who you're working with and what has to happen. Me, I could take $15,000 and I could throw that into awareness campaigns. I could throw that into lead gen campaigns and I could go make $45,000. And to me, that's more important than my blue check mark, right? And you'll hear a lot of people say, well, and this is how they get you. This is how these guys get you. Well, appearances are everything. You know, appearances are everything. And I agree with that to a point, but I'm more like, if I'm going to give you 15 grand for a check, I'm going to take that 15 grand. I'm going to put that back into my business. Okay. I'm going to go run more ads, get more attention, get more leads, get more people that are qualified, convert those leads, get more growth on my channels manually myself than paying one person or a group of people to do this. I can't justify it. And I do advertising and marketing. We as a company do not offer that as a service because I just feel like there's something off with it personally. So if you want to buy it, go ahead. You don't have to, because I can tell you, you can grow a 7-figure business without a check mark. You don't need it, right? And you don't need to spend $7,500 on it. And if you want, great, go ahead and do it. I'm not discouraging you. I'm just saying it's not a necessity today with all these things that are going on. If you get enough traction over time, if you get enough awareness over time, you'll just get it. Like you could apply for it and it'll happen, right? So the growth thing, the verification thing, I like to do it. I'm more of where am I spending my money that actually makes sense? And I'm going to spend my money on at 7,500, 10 grand. It's going into ads. It's going into turning into 20 grand, 30 grand, 40 grand, 50 grand, whatever I need to do to get that number, 100,000 and above. Okay. I will invest that money that way because I think it's more practical and it makes sense, right? So if you got 15 grand to blow, don't get verified, put it in your advertising. That's what I would do. I mean, I think it's a mistake to just purchase that. I think it's better if you just go and get your 15 grand into ads, do your own awareness, do your own lead gen. So there's so many coaches and entrepreneurs out there that paid for these things. And I know they paid for them. And I know that it wasn't legitimate. And I know because I look at their statistics, I look at all that stuff and I'm like, this is not real. Okay. These are people that have never run businesses. These are people that have no qualifications. They look good, but that's about it. Right. If you were to drill down into it, it looks good. Okay. No, it doesn't sound right. Sorry, it doesn't look good. It doesn't sound right if you were to drill into it. Right. So you do not want to do anything that could get your accounts in any way banned, shadow banned, shut down, suppressed, because they will suppress you. And you'll wake up one day and be like, wow, I got all these followers, but I got nothing. What's happening? Well, congratulations, you shadow banned yourself, and all these platforms are keeping you down because it's not legit, right? So how do you combat that? Well, that's what we talk about every single week. That's what we talked about yesterday. We talked about branding, we talked about content creation, advertising, Facebook ads, Google ads, Instagram ads. Great way to do it. Suffer through the condition of actually building a brand. And then one day when the brand is there, great. As long as you can make money along the way. Your priority when it comes to these types of things in marketing is what's going to make me money right now. Okay. We don't want to go vanity. I try not to go vanity. I try not. Okay. Sometimes it happens, you take a cool picture of yourself, you like it, it'll look good. Nothing wrong with that. But the check mark to me is a vanity play. That's all it really is. Ooh, look at me. But are you qualified? Are you able? Are you somebody that I would want to give $30,000 to? I saw this one guy, I said, I would never give this person money. I would never give that person money just based on how they communicate and the appearance. I was like, there's just no way. I don't care what product they sell. They're not getting my 25, 30 grand. It's not going to happen. I'm not going to do it, right? Legit, do it right, break it out, do that. Don't do anything that gets you banned. Don't do anything that gets you suppressed. Don't hurt your algorithm chances that are organically there and actually growing for you. Okay. Keep it together in a good way where it needs to be and walk it out from that standpoint. All right. Next thing I want to talk about, that's a dumb, bad marketing stupidity move. And we're going to jump over to LinkedIn and talk about this for a second. Okay. I don't know about you guys that are on here or any business owner that's on there, but probably over the last 2 years, I have become inundated with LinkedIn sales messages. Okay. People actually get mad at me if I don't respond to them, which I think is pretty funny, especially if you're doing a cold reach. But my inbox has become, I don't even check my LinkedIn messages ever. Like people have reached out to me on LinkedIn and they're like, I message you on LinkedIn. I'm like, I don't check LinkedIn because it is nothing but a spam box. That's all it is. It is an obsessive compulsive spam box. And the funniest thing is that all those messages are pretty much the same, but they're coming from different industries, right? So I don't advise anybody to go out and buy a package from anyone that offers LinkedIn messaging. We don't do that. We don't do LinkedIn messaging. We don't do Instagram messaging. We don't do any of that because it's totally unnecessary and it doesn't work. It doesn't work. If you personally want to reach out to someone yourself personally and say hi, from a personal standpoint to say something, fine. But don't do these generic blasts of LinkedIn. This is actually hurting LinkedIn more than anything else. I use LinkedIn only because it's just another platform to communicate with people. I don't use any of the messaging features on it at all. I don't, because it doesn't provide anything of value unless I know the person already. Unless that person knows me, I can get them on LinkedIn, I can talk to them. But I will not hire anyone to go and spam people's inboxes. Like, I mean, just today, I'll pull it up today. I'll tell you exactly how many I got because it was obnoxious. Let's see. Just today, I had 12 messages today. Yesterday, I had 6. The day before, I had 5. But it's all the same. And sometimes people write these things and it's like they don't even look at your messaging. Like they don't even look at who you are. And I've had people say things to me and I'm like, you didn't even look at me. Like you didn't even look at anything about my business. You looked at nothing about me. This is just a slated fish shotgun approach to marketing, right? It's not there. If you're doing it, knock it off. It's not working. You're wasting your time. You're wasting your energy, okay? You have better luck sending emails that you want to write personally every day to individuals than you do spamming somebody's inbox with different messages that come through. And it's just not practical, okay? Because nobody's going to respond to it. I don't check of any of these. So you got to get a little bit more creative. And my favorite is when people get upset with you because you don't respond. If you're in marketing And if you're in advertising and someone gets mad at you because you're not responding to their whatever generic message, like what is that? Like, what are we really doing here? I had a guy be like, well, I guess you're not interested in anything that I have to offer. I'm not going to help you if you don't respond. I'm like, great, whatever, dude. Like, we're not even in business yet, and you're already getting upset with me. What makes you think I want to talk to you now? Okay. You got to keep your cool in marketing all the time, all kinds of messages, anything that you're going to write, just really keep your cool. How can we work it out? Hey, I did this for you. You did this for me. Let's work something out. Let's see what we can come together. You know, work with me. I want to work with you. That's better than, oh, dude, you piece of garbage. Blah, blah, blah. Like, what are you, who is that? Bad marketing move. Okay. Because all it takes is sending that to the wrong person, and that person, you know, really causing a problem for you. So dumb marketing move are these LinkedIn messages, these Instagram messages, I don't really get it on Facebook. I get it on LinkedIn and I get it on Instagram a lot, right? Twitter, I don't really get anything from, but those are the two platforms. I guess somebody somewhere said, hey, this is a great idea. Let's do some LinkedIn messages. And I'm like, again, if I'm paying somebody $500 a month to send out, I don't know, 1,000 LinkedIn messages a week. Oh man, give me the 1,000. I'll go run ads and I'll actually be able to talk to someone who actually raised their hand and said, I'm interested. Why am I telling you this? Because the solution is advertising. That's it. The solution is paid ads. And you don't need hundreds of thousands of dollars to do it. $200, $500, $1,000, $1,200. If you got 10 grand, 30 grand, 100 grand, even better. But it's not, that's not, you know, that's the main solution you should be thinking about, is how do I get people to raise their hand and say, I want to talk to Robert. I want to speak to him now. I want to see what he has to say. I'm interested in that. All right. Any kind of shout out or anything like we talked about earlier, just avoid, don't do it. But these LinkedIn messages and these Instagram messages, is a complete waste of time. It's bad news. It doesn't work. Nobody reads them. Nobody's interested in them. And go from there. The other thing that's kind of rough on marketing are these companies that do email blasts for you, but not in the sense that you're thinking. These are cold emails, cold outreach emails to different companies across the board. And I've used 3 companies that did this. They're terrible, waste of money, charge you 3 grand a month. And it is just absolutely a waste of time. You're better off hiring somebody to do direct mail with postcards than you are doing it this way. You're not going to get a lot of response. Now, if you have a list, if you have a CRM, if you have a list that you've grown, nurture them. Okay, one thing we like to do, a couple of things we like to do is I like to send personal messages, but I also like to send out emails of new YouTube content that's actually available for people to go and watch. I love doing that because it's not a sales pitch. There's nothing salesy about it. I says, hey, we just did a video. It's called, is branding worth money? Like, is it a waste of money? Go check it out when you have your free time. That's enough. That's enough of a follow-up to just get people on the radar, to think about you and commit at some point later on down the road. Because what we're interested in doing, and I'm not going to say the word that we're building trust, we're building communication here. We're building the ability for people to stay connected and communicate. That's really what we want. Trust is one thing. Communication is another. Just because somebody doesn't respond to your email or your YouTube video or your content, or they don't say anything, it's not necessarily the end of the world, but there is a communication that's happening. You are saying something and somebody's listening to what you have to say. Communication, it's happening. Then eventually, enough times of tapping that communication, enough times of actually saying something, they'll turn around and they'll say, okay, good, I'm interested. What is it that you could help me with today? What is it that we could discuss at this time? But don't do the LinkedIn generic messaging. Stay away from the generic. Try to figure out a way to inject your personal self into those communications, whatever that might be. If you want to personally reach out to somebody on LinkedIn, by all means, go ahead and do it. You want to personally say something to someone, go ahead and do it. You want to personally send a message to someone, go ahead and do it. You want to say anything to anyone at any time that maybe they haven't heard or they're not listening to anything you have to say, just say, hey, I'm reaching out to you. Keep it personal. If you can manage to do it that way, your results are going to be higher than this kind of blasted, let's just fire off and see exactly what we could do. So those marketing mistakes right there, buying followers, getting those shout outs, don't buy from these people, man. It's a waste of time. It's a waste of money, and you're going to hurt your brand in the long run. Okay. You're going to damage your account. You're going to suppress your own account. And if you did this prior to 2021, hire somebody on Fiverr to remove all those fake accounts. It's worth the $200, $100, $300 to go in and get rid of 10,000 people that are fake. So if you did it, get rid of it. Okay, your engagement will instantly rebound from that point, right? I told everybody I did it a year and a half ago. I did a big cleaning, and I was just like, the company that I was working with, I was like, you guys are terrible. This is not working. You know, I'm going in and I'm cleaning up this mess that you've created, because I was doing all the organic stuff. Again, stuff that I had seen in the past that it was like, oh yeah, we'll do it. And then I stopped doing it. And then I was like, I got to go back and fix this. Like, this is a mess. Okay. And don't be afraid. If you got to restart, you know, if you got to restart again, no problem. I've done that. I know a few people that have done it, and they've actually gotten better results a lot faster because they went through and they kind of avoided this. So if you want to grow your accounts, if you want to expand those accounts, if you want to get more people to follow you, to see you, to pay attention to you and say, yes, we're interested, I want to work with you, go to your ads to do that. Run your business manager ads, not boosted posts. Run your awareness branded ads through Facebook, through Instagram, through Google, through your keywords, and invest the money there. Don't pay the guys $2 grand, $3 grand to go get you followers. Just run your ads and keep your content going. Because as long as you can keep that content going and that communication going, that's going to get your own, that's going to develop the trust that you're actively searching for. And I think we talked about maybe a month ago, we talked about altitude and things like that. That's where that comes from. It doesn't come from the number. It comes from what you're saying, and it comes from the amount of consistency that you have, right? There is no cheat to actually creating that high level deal. We're not looking to cheat. We're looking to get it where it needs to go. That's the game that we're looking at here. And so if you're doing any of these things that I have listed above, just stop right now and go back to basic content creation, the basic ad management, the basic distribution, and stay in that role. Don't fall out into this other thing. If somebody messages you, oh, we'll put you in the shout out campaign, you'll get 2,000 new followers, be like, that's wonderful. I'm not interested. Leave it alone and move on. Don't play with it. Don't do anything like that. Your rule of thumb is content, consistency, ad money. And you don't need a lot, $250 minimum. You want to go above that, great. You've got thousands of dollars to spend, 100,000, great. But you don't need to do any of this other crazy stuff, all right? So those are the things that I really wanted to digest with you, was really don't make these mistakes, don't do that. Another thing you shouldn't be doing is posting 12 times a day on your walls. So like you got your Facebook wall, you got your Twitter feed, you've got your LinkedIn feed, you've got your YouTube feed. And you're going to hear a lot of people give a lot of different opinions on this. And they're going to say, just bang on it, post it, post it, post it, post it. There is no real evidence to back that up. What I recommend is, if you're going to do a post, 1 a day, 2 a day max. If you want to really push it, 2 a day, you know, max on any of these platforms. Okay. And sometimes I kind of go back and I don't do anything for a few days. If I get posts that are performing, like I won't post for a little while, like I'll hold it. You know, I put a post out a couple of weeks ago and it was still going. And I think I let it run for about 4 or 5 days before I did anything else. Now the stories and all that stuff, totally different viewpoint, totally different thing to think about. I mean, I hammer those. If you follow me, you probably see how much content I put out in my stories. That's kind of a different matter in all of itself. But from the wall standpoint, like the post on the wall, the reel, the YouTube channel content, the Facebook content, the LinkedIn content, at max, it's 2 a day. And I try to space it out. Like I'll do one in the morning, and then maybe I'll do one in the afternoon, late afternoon, early evening, if I feel so compelled to have to, you know, if I'm like, I really want to get some stuff out, right? So the marketing mistake to make would be go to Facebook and post 4, 5, 6 times a day, or go to Twitter, post 4, 5, 6 times a day, go to LinkedIn, post 4, 5, 6 times a day, go to YouTube 4, 5, 6 times a day. That will actually suppress your algorithm as well. that could actually potentially get you shadow banned. So if you do a lot of that, you're kind of teetering on an edge of like, this guy's, it transitions from organic posting to spam. That's how these platforms look at it. So if you've ever had your account randomly shut down and you don't know why, and you didn't talk about politics or anything that goes against community guidelines, that's what happened. You overposted and it looked at as spam. It's like, what is this guy doing? Why are they posting so much? You don't want to do that. Okay, so space it out. Like you want to do 2 a day, fine. Morning, evening, great. You want to do 4 a week, great. Want to do 3 a week, great. 3 a week on all platforms. So that's what, 18 posts a week or something like that. If you right, 12. No, it's 12 because you do 4, or if you do more than 4, fine. But that's how you have to look at it from that standpoint. All right, it's like, all right, good. So I'm going to space this out. I'll have my map of what I want to talk about all week, but I don't want to overkill it because I will suppress my stuff. Sometimes posts do really well, and if you overpost on top of it, it'll just cut that in half, and then that's it. That post just kind of disappears, it goes off into oblivion, and that digital piece of real estate is no longer serving the function that you want it to. So I look at these posts and things like that as digital real estate, right? You don't want to put, bad things on real estate. You don't want to put bad things in the ground like fake followers and things like that. You want to nurture that. So let it run. Let that piece of real estate pay you some dividends. And if it's really good, run an ad with it. Like, wow, that actually did well. I'm onto something here. Maybe I should run more ads with it or something of that sort, and take it from that viewpoint, because anything else is just kind of a waste of time at that viewpoint. All right. So those are all the mistakes that I really wanted to go over. I think I said we were going to do 30 minutes. That was about what I wanted to target to do today. So if you guys have questions, you can type it in the chat there. I'll answer any questions you have on anything. If you have anything you want to clear up, I'll leave it there for a second. I will have the replay up on YouTube probably later today or tomorrow. You can go back and watch it. If you haven't subscribed to my YouTube, please do so. There's a bunch of free content on there. And if you guys need help with anything on your brand, you guys want us to take a look at your ads, we'll do an analysis for you. We'll take a look at everything and we'll build it out from there, all right? So I'll leave it open for a couple questions. If not, we'll end off and let you guys have a good Wednesday evening. And then we'll be back actually, I don't know if we're going to be back next Wednesday because I'm traveling. Let me just confirm that so that you guys aren't like, what's happening? I'll let you know right now what my schedule is. Yeah, so I will definitely be able to, we will definitely have another SysloSpice next Wednesday. Okay. All right, great. Well, you guys have a great evening. If you need anything else, just let me know, reach out to us. Be more than happy to help you. And thank you so much for tuning in, and I'll talk to you next week. Thank you so much.